Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this special November meeting of the Franklin Township Historic Preservation Advisory Commission. Originally, due to Election Day, council schedule, and Thanksgiving holiday, a regular November meeting was not scheduled. The town clerk has appropriately advertised this meeting, and in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975, I will call this meeting to order. A note that this meeting is recorded for the township's YouTube site. And with that, let me just do the roll call really quick. I'm going to shout out who I see since we're still in this virtual world. If I miss a member of the commission, please speak up. I know Anthony Ganem is here.
Here.
Yep. Jessica Johnson. Hi.
Hi.
Bob LaCourte.
Yep.
Good to see you, Bob. We have Glenn McParland.
Hello.
We have myself, Andrew Burian. And give me a second. I'm scrolling through. I believe that's all I see. Is there anybody else from the commission that I don't see? Please just.
David Weaver.
Oh, David, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. David.
Nancy
I'm sure.
Holstein.
And Nancy, you're here. I don't see a lot of people. And Nancy, we definitely have a quorum. Any others? Great. And we have our staff person, Vince Dominic, is here as well. And I don't see Ted Chase, but he might pop in. The sole reason for this meeting is to review and discuss an application made by the township for the replacement and reconfiguration of public playground equipment to be installed within Kingston Park, adjacent to the school. The reason that this warranted a special meeting is that the applicant failed to submit to this board prior to the demolition of the existing equipment. This was an internal oversight in the township. Remember that prior to us having CLG status, the township would not typically make application to this board for its own projects. The timing of this project and this application is such that the playground surface needs to be installed around the base of the equipment to make sure that kids don't get hurt when they fall. And that surface needs to be installed before the late fall comes in, when night temperatures are consistently below around 45 degrees. So this application is very similar to the one in East Millstone we heard a couple meetings ago, but that's kind of where we're at. So I give that introduction only because it is unusual for us to call in a special meeting for something. But it is, after all, as they say, for the children. So who's making presentation for the township tonight, Vince?
I am Andrew, and if we have any technical questions, I have Maureen Sturgeon, who is one of our engineers, who is the project manager for the replacement of the park. So if any commissioner has any questions,
so did I capture that appropriately the way I read that?
You were perfect synopsis. I appreciate it. I have to speak less.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how I introduce a special meeting. So I wrote that down because I didn't want to miss anything.
Well, first of all, we do apologize for failing to come. Obviously, as soon as we realized that we had to, I called you, and we had a conversation about having a special meeting. Really, the most important thing is the timing. As you said, if we don't do it in the next couple of weeks, the material that's put down can't be put down to the spring because it will crack. We have it scheduled, assuming this commission approves it tonight. We have it scheduled for installation 2 weeks from today. So okay. The contractor is putting it in, has put it in our other fields, and he's doing another one right now, I believe. So with that, Andrew, if you could scroll down to the picture of what it looked like. That's a picture of what it looked like before we removed the equipment. The area that you see where the playground was about 2,750 square feet. We're going to add about 950 square feet to the area. That's to add some swing sets. The playground is going to shift just a little bit, a few feet toward Union. And the swings will be on the north side of the playground, a little bit closer to the existing building where you see the edge of the equipment there. The reason for the replacement is we're replacing the equipment in all of our parks unless they were done in the last couple of years due to ADA requirements, safety requirements, specifically recommendations from our joint insurance fund, which did an audit. The parks were not up to the existing code. And if you notice, like you were a couple of months ago, we did the other park, and we've done the majority of the other parks in town, or we'll be doing them shortly. So that's the basic synopsis. If we have any questions, I'm here to answer. And like I said, if there's any technical questions, the pictures of the equipment, Andrew, follow. There's 5 or 6 pictures after this one.
Vince, is this in the exact configuration that it's going to be? It's with the left side of the page being closest to the school building. Is that correct?
I let Maureen, will you confirm that, Maureen?
What we were trying to do is we're gonna have, I may actually move them closer together to tighten it up so that we don't, encumber any more of the existing property. So it should lay out pretty much as it is, where we'll have the playground closest to the road, and then coming up from the playground will be the swing.
So let me just understand what you just stated. So you're talking about potentially shifting it. Are you saying that the swings are going to be closer to the basketball court in this image?
Correct. The swings will go up closer. It'll look more like an L or an I guess, with the swings being the dot of the I. We have to. The only reason we have to swing it closer to the school is because we put that path in, and the way the path comes down, it's interfering with where we want to go.
So just so I understand 100%, and I picked green because it's the most unclear color on a green grass. Are you suggesting that it's going to go approximately here?
No, if you move it down, I don't know if you can do that.
I'm going to pick a different color while I do this.
It's start where you started out, but go down towards the, that's it, yes.
Okay, so you're going to leave more room between the school building and the playground.
I'm going to try, I may have to shift them both slightly towards the building just because of the path, but I'm going to leave as much as I can and try not to.
Okay.
I'll tighten everything up as best I can. I can even try to eliminate some of the corners and make it more of a fluid design, but that we can decide out there if it'll work better.
Okay. Oops. So I'm going to just scroll through the rest of the imagery. This certainly looks like an upgrade from the existing equipment.
Just a wee bit.
The overall rendering. And I guess this is some kind of percussion stand, right? So they could drum?
Correct, yeah.
Sensory and audio stuff is big in playgrounds.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then this is the layout.
Correct.
So I'm gonna say that the one thing that we're missing is some kind of overall site plan that anchors us to the building. maybe we could describe our way through that. And finalize a location here this evening. That way we're all comfortable where it lives. Is there any other items that you want to talk about, Vince or Maureen, on this application before I start asking the group for questions or comments?
I don't have anything
I would
else.
also, I don't know if I have to ask for it. I would like to be able to put, we did take out the benches. So we would like to color match some of the benches, new benches in. So I don't know if that matters.
They're a one-for-one in-kind replacement?
Correct.
Okay. It's just good to note, but I don't think it really is relevant. So does anybody on the commission or have any questions or comments for this particular application? I know it's straightforward and I dragged you all out here on a Monday night. So somebody should say something.
Nope, good to go.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
I guess the one thing that I would like to solidify as part of a conditional approval is that location of the swings, and make sure that, you know, what we're talking about, this arrangement is what we're going to see out there in the field, so to speak, pardon the pun. But other than that, I don't have any additional comments.
Andrew, I do have one question. Let's say that additional parking for the school at some point in time is going to be needed. Is there going to be room to be able to put that in there rather than pick up the playground and put it somewhere else?
Well, Bob, the school leases from the people we lease from, and they don't lease. That's not part of the property that they lease. This property is township open space property. The school only leases the parking.
So Vince, understood, and I get that, but I guess with Bob asking that question, and I'll ask you and Maureen, I mean, if we're already shifting the swings, right? Would it be possible, or does it make sense to hold the front edge of the school, right? So that it leaves something for the future, whether it happens or not. I don't doubt it will. I doubt it will, but at least there's that possibility. I mean, shifting that so the front edge of the school is kind of that line. Does it make sense?
Forgive me, I'm not on the committee. Can you hear me?
The grade or anything else, are there any encumbrances from that? I can tell you that there has been no request from the school to people we lease to, and to be able to do that would be extraordinarily difficult because it takes years to do it. It is encumbered. We have to go through the process again. And the first time that we went through this process, we specifically had that conversation because the school wanted the whole land, and the decision was made, and everyone involved, that the township and the various boards did not want that to be the case because they wanted the rest of the park to be unencumbered. But we did want to save the historic resource of the school building. So the chances of that happening are extremely small. But Maureen can speak on whether or not, you know, from a perspective of how the property is graded and how the stuff has to be laid out and how close it is to other things, to the basketball and everything else, whether that becomes an issue, which, you know, she'd have to speak on that.
I can definitely try to hold that line, you know, along with the building. It may then force me to move if I move the basic playground area up, I may be forced to turn the swings and have them go closer to the school. But, you know, I can put together some plans tomorrow and send them out if you want. I just didn't want to get too close to the basketball, and I didn't want to get too close to the school.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's enough of an issue, at least for this particular panel, to push. I would say that if there is a solution where we could hold the front edge of the school, maybe that's good. But, I'm comfortable, basically with the arrangement that we've shown on screen here, right? So that, the swings are here, and then that's the playground.
Right. The playground may go towards it may not line up directly with the basketball court. It may take over where that bench is, but that's probably, I'm thinking maybe about 3 or 4 feet that I'd have to move closer just to get away from that, the track that's out there.
Gotcha.
Andrew, the only thing that I see, is there access to that other than from the school? We're making this ADA compliant. Is there some kind of ADA compliant pathway from Union that, special needs kids can get there and utilize that rather than going over rough dirt or the grass as it is in the ruts?
It's not.
Normally with these, what we'll do with an ADA path is we'll do the crushed red stone, which I believe is what that path is. But we can make a crushed red stone path, which is ADA compliant, going to the playground itself.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay. Is there any other questions or comments from the commission on this particular application?
I'm good to go. I'll make a motion if everybody is
Open
satisfied.
to the public first. We need to open to the public.
Okay.
in case
So,
there's anyone here.
But I think that the conversation is going to be that, at least from this panel, that if we could try to align the playground with the front edge of the school, and have that path to the street, I think we're good to go. So with that, I'll take one last, any comments from the Historic Preservation Commission on this application prior to opening it to public discussion?
Yeah, Glenn, I know that we lost some trees there, and when we open for discussion, I'd love to hear the community input on getting some shade trees around there as well. I know the one that's there also has a large canker thing on the side of it. Maybe it's been hit several times, but that's for the public if they want to opine on that.
We can go to the Shade Tree Commission for the trees.
A long time. A real long time.
Okay. So with that, I guess we'll see. Sorry, I'm kind of writing notes and talking here. With that, does somebody want to make a motion to open to public discussion on this application?
I'll make a motion to open.
I'll second. Is there any public discussion on this application before the commission? If so, please unmute yourself and announce your name for the record and state what your comments are. Any public going once?
Hi, Kelly Probst. I want to thank you guys for doing this, having an emergency meeting. It's the park looks great, and we really appreciate what you're all doing for us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other public discussion?
Meredith Rogers, and I second what Kelly said, and we really want the playground back up. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other public discussion, comments pertaining to this application? Okay, seeing as none come forward, I'll make a motion to close the public discussion. Do I have a second? Second, thank you, Bob LaCourt. With that, do we have a motion for this particular application?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Bob.
I heard Glenn McFarland first, Bob.
I'll make a motion to approve.
That's all right. He's a little closer to you guys than I am right now. I'm
let's
in
get this thing-
Pennsylvania.
Let's get this thing going. I make a motion to approve as submitted.
Yeah, let's
If
get it
you
going.
can move, if you can, get it in line with the front of the school, that would be terrific. I don't think that'll hold us up though, so.
I'll
Okay,
second
so
the motion then, Andrew.
well, I'm going to reread the motion. The motion is for approval as submitted with the request that the front edge of the playground aligns with the front edge of the school, and that the swings are as shown on screen between the playground and the basketball court. I just want to amend to locate the swings. Do you accept that amendment, Glenn?
You were playing with dollars?
That'll carry my motion.
Thank you. And Bob, do you still second?
Yes.
With a second from Bob. Any nays from the commission? I will take a silent response as a vote in the affirmative, as we've been doing through the pandemic. So at this time, any nays?
Well, Andrew, can you pass forward the tree commission so we can maybe look at getting additional screening or trees on this lot?
That's not really our purview for this particular application. But I heard Glenn volunteer.
Vince can go to the Shade Tree Commission and ask. That shouldn't be a problem.
I know some members of the KVAC are on here. Maybe they can help with getting that there. I know they were looking at doing that, I thought, at one point. If they can take that on, that'd be great. And then I'm for any kind of shade trees that we can plant. It's hot
Yeah,
up there.
Yeah, I'm not adverse to any trees ever. So yes, Jessica, I agree with you, but it's not, I don't think, part of our particular charge on this one.
Okay.
Do you agree or disagree or?
I think screening, comes into play with historic applications, so I think it would apply.
To tell you that
I agree and I disagree. But I guess you're bringing up discussion on the motion. So with that, the discussion on the motion would be, should we include some kind of requirement as a condition for additional trees? Is that where you're going with this?
Or screening.
Well, while the township does not object to providing screening, we don't have a proposal for such screening. I would suggest that whether it's KVAC or other members go to the Shade Tree Commission, who can have the trees installed, and discuss that. And I'm sure the township, if they were put in the appropriate place, would be happy to do, but we don't have a proposal. And I really don't want to encumber the property in any manner until we have the people, the Shade Tree Commission, who are the ones charged with doing this, making that determination. I think it'd be a more appropriate discussion. I agree with you, Jessica. It'd be good to have some more trees there. But where they should be, what they should be, how they should be planted, and to make sure they have that discussion, especially with Maureen, to make sure it doesn't interfere with anything else. I don't think we have the ability to do that. I think it would be good to make a recommendation that could be looked at by the Shade Tree Commission.
Yeah, and I would add that we have an application basically for just replacement of existing park equipment in an existing park. So, screening of an existing structure just because they want to replace it with new structure or new equipment.
Maybe you should get a table.
I'm not sure on this one.
I would just say that we, as a commission, can probably separately say, it was maybe a concern, and unless anyone dissents, that we all would want additional trees, because a lot of trees were taken out there. And we can let that go forward, and that could be a recommendation that either KVAC or someone else can opine on and say, this is what we heard and this is what we're doing, and maybe that helps.
So all right, we have a motion on the table from Glenn with a pending second from Bob LaCourte. We've had some discussion. Do we want to amend the motion to include a recommendation that the applicant, being the township, engages with the Shade Tree Commission to do appropriate additional plantings around the park.
That sounds reasonable.
Well, will that hold this up? I think we're on a deadline here. I wouldn't want to hold up the laying of the.
No,
You're not going to be, you're not going to be planting trees now. You're going to be planting them in the spring.
Correct.
actually, this is the best time of the year to plant. They're all dormant. They
yes.
go in the ground. I don't think it holds up the application, Glenn. I think that
No.
we approve
Get
it as that way.
Okay.
And all we're saying is that we recommend that the applicant engage the Shade Tree Commission for additional plantings.
I agree
So-
with that. I
So
agree with amendment.
so I'm going to read the amended motion. The amended motion is to approve the playground equipment as submitted, with the conditions that, if possible, the playground is aligned with the front edge of the school, that the swings remain between the playground and the basketball court, and that the township engage the Shade Tree Commission to open the dialogue of additional appropriate plantings around the playground. Does that sound like what everybody is expecting?
Yep. Sounds
Yep.
good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so with the amended motion on the table, I'd like to get a second.
I'll second
I'll
it.
second it.
I'm going to say Bob LaCourte because he was the original second. And now that we have that, again, we'll vote. And with that, just as normal, and as I stated previously, please come forward with any nays. Your silence will be considered a affirmative vote for this application. Any nays? Seeing no nays from the commission come forward, it looks like the motion passes.
Andrew, one more thing, Bob Bonlocker was listening, and he wanted me to assure everybody that the township will plant trees in the appropriate place to provide the appropriate screening. The other thing I want to mention, that it is Bob LaCourte's birthday, and he took time out from his birthday celebration to be here because he thought it was important. So we should wish him a happy birthday.
I
Well, thank
can't
you,
count, but I can't count that high.
Birthday, man.
That's, and it cost me an extra
birthday,
50
Bob.
bucks already.
He goes backwards. His age
happy-
goes backwards.
He's going backwards. Yeah, you watch it, Anthony.
I don't know what happened. It stopped. The microphone stopped working.
All right. Well, somebody said the microphone stopped working.
No, mine did it. I had to get on the phone. That's why I'm on the thing twice. My microphone's
Oh, I got you.
working on the computer. That's why you see my name twice.
Gotcha. All right. Well, so with that, the only thing that I'm going to add before I call for an adjournment is that we did get notice this past week of possible grant opportunities for CLG grants. I forwarded those to Vince and Jessica, so we're going to start looking at those. We're going to present in the next meeting what grant we're going to go after. And I've through Vince and through Mark, I've put in a request for budget to do those matching grants. So that's it. I'm not going to call for any other business. I'm going to make a motion to adjourn the special meeting, and I thank
Second.
everybody for their time.